What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to your daily creative reading for June 30th. We are going to jump right in here. So, Spirit, I'd like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Ooh, got good goosebumps on that one. Yeah. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please, for June 30th? At the end of the month, I don't know how the Cancerian new moon was for you, for all of you, but I was getting some good rest. I had a little cry. Not in a bad way, though, just a little release. It's all good. Sometimes it's necessary, right? Okay. So, oh, dear, dear you. I love it that it starts like that. You are not alone. Dear, dear you. It might be hard to believe you'll ever get to where you want to go, feel the way you want to feel, and find peace and security, but you can. There's lots to celebrate in this life, but first you need to let go of this attachment to achieving certain results. It's easy to get caught in the endless loop of wanting this or that so you can feel safe. The only way out is to surrender the attachment. Empty yourself so you can be filled with something new. The compulsion will be lifted and peace will come. Trust that something better waits, that something new will open up, and you will see new opportunities for fulfillment. The truth is, whenever you get into the loop, what you're really looking for is spirit. That connection is where the power, the peace, and the purpose lies. Everything else follows after that. Give yourself a hug. We've got you. Loving you so, so much. So that's a beautiful message for you today, my lovelies. Release attachments. But that's the purpose of it, right? Think about that. The purpose of the attachment. Why is it there? It's because we're seeking connection. I'm seeing a Two of Cups. I'm wondering if that's going to eventually come popping out here. Two of Cups. Temperance. Six of Pentacles. Seven of Wands. Let's see what else we've got here. You want one of these. So we have bridging energy. Nice. That could become the Tower. I'm seeing like there's like a Neptune energy here, and it's like, don't let yourself get carried away. Not in a bad way, but just like by the energy. So do some grounding work. There's a lot of major arcana here. Wow, 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 wow. Dang. Okay. Okay. So we have the Temperance card and the Six of Pentacles. Let me turn this light on here. It doesn't do a ton, but it does light these up for you. Excuse me. So with this energy, I feel like it is, this is beautiful energy. I feel like it's like a sudden expansion, but it's like an expansion because, how do I word this? I get that something finally arrives that says balanced or more balanced or better than you could have hoped for. But you had to there was some measure of patience with this that you needed. You needed to temper efforts. You needed to take it easier more than push against. But I feel like something's coming to fruition. Like it's full bloom. Something's blooming right now, but it required a little bit of patience on your part. And I get the impression, the Seven of Wands, that might have been a bit frustrating, or you felt like it's like you were, I don't know, maybe alone. Because I'm seeing this like you are not alone on the back here. And then there's this too. So it's almost like maybe you felt like you were doing something by yourself, or there was a solo effort as opposed to a group effort that you really wanted. But you integrated, or could be the message that you need to take in, is that you need to integrate these lessons. So you need to integrate them because there's a way that life was mirroring to you something really important that you needed to know that will help you to not only 444 is just on the time to advocate for yourself, but it sort of illuminates this bridging consciousness energy here. So what I get here is that there was this way that you maybe, again, with the mirror, right? And it's just this higher consciousness, this higher take. What is this for? Like, how is this here to help me? How could this help me? Even if it feels like something that is not helpful or deeply painful, right? Again, I've said this so many times as a trans person, I get how this feels. When somebody is really hateful, and you have to choose that kind of upset. You have to choose that, right? So it's like, what decisions are you making? What decisions are you making about your own energy and how it's going to flow? Are you going to use these mirrors in ways that feel this good and that take you to these elevated places? Or are you going to use these and just there's a way that we can get stuck in this energy, because we enjoy the higher consciousness of it. We enjoy that part of connection, right? It's a connection to spirit. There's a way, though, that this can become its own tower when that's all that we rely on. And we neglect to consider the bigger forces at work with the wheel. And it can kind of, so this is the protagonist. The antagonist position is the Chariot, which tells me that can work against you. If you focus too on, I'm seeing, like, I'm seeing, like, I don't know if it's some kind of grain. It might be like millet, which I don't even know. Anyways, but I'm seeing it's like granularity. Like, if you focus on the too granular of things, you'll miss the bigger forces at work. And I think that's part of the patience, because you see the bigger forces pop out, or you might see them pop out in the everyday. So your first impulse is to rush to the end story and to rush to the ending. And so you're like, I want that now. But that's not how life works. That's just not. There's timing at work. There's a whole bunch of aha moments along the way that are scattered perfectly. With this little beastie in the morning, I love her so much. Oh my gosh. She knows I'm talking about her. Do you see that tail? Do you see that tail? Anyways, in the morning, if she has, I have to do this with her treats and like literally scatter them. So she has to walk to get them, because otherwise she'll just eat them all so quickly because she can't wait. She's so excited, and it kind of makes her sick a little bit. So it's like I have to do that. Sorry for the visual if that, but anyways, but it's like that process where it's like sometimes we can be like that too, where it's like too much of a good thing because it feels so good. And it's not too much of a good thing as in guilty pleasure. It is that we neglect other areas of our life that are crucial to this wheel turning. I feel like my voice is changing again, so it's crackling a bit. So I apologize, but also I know there's not much to be sorry for. I'm just going to grab a quick drink of water in case that helps. Much better. Okay. So it's where we can neglect the everyday details in favor of the bigger thing. So it's almost like this becomes like an escape. This is very Neptunian energy. So this can almost become like an escape for us. Not even an escape route, but just a place that we run to, right? So a place that we run to, but it's like what we don't realize is that fate is we can't miss what is meant for us. Number one. Number two, there's a way that the wheel turns that like regardless of whether we catch the thing this time, it's just going to keep coming up and getting louder, or it's going to, get softer, or it's going to become more apparent. I don't think it's energy that we can run from. And I think that that's where this Chariot can mean momentum. On the one hand, it's going to impact momentum. But more than the momentum, I think the message here is it's going to affect the ease of the momentum. So those little strings attached to the horses there, like it's going to affect the ease of things for us. And that is an equally important and prominent story to pay attention to and thing to think about here, right? Because if we pay attention to the small details, we think that we're just being detail oriented, but sometimes it requires a pulling back. Sometimes there needs to be that sort of tempering the energy here, with something that's a little bit lighter and softer, and a little bit more tender, as it were. But the main challenge here is justice, the justice card. So this is Libran energy. It's also associated with 7th house and like long-term contracts and relationships, that kind of thing. Not something that's here today, gone tomorrow, right? Not at all. The way I look at this is it's almost like what is internal being projected outwards, and it's allowing you to make a decision or to call something in. Justice is also cause and effect, right? So cause is the Ace of Swords, effect is the Two of Swords. So it's like this way of of the causative nature of our action or inaction, right? Or reaction. So it's looking at and tempering things and pulling back, and just before we react, asking ourselves why. Taking a breath. Like before you do something, taking like 5 deep breaths, not even just in terms of like, because a lot of people apply it with conflict and things like that, but I think about it just in the everyday, right? It's like when I because I spend a chunk of time commuting, I see it so much with driving, where it's like people will be like right up on bumpers and things like that, and I'm grateful because I'm usually like my ADHD shines in those scenarios because I can take in so much information at once. So it's like I'm fine on the roads, but what I notice about this is the internal conflict gets manifest outwardly, or it's triggered by things outwardly. So this could be sort of symptomatic. You may see external circumstances as symptomatic of something to look at within, which is typically the case. But I feel like that might be more active this week or in the coming weeks, right? But again, there's this bridging energy where we're seeing something and we're choosing to go, instead of to the shadow, into the light of ourselves, into the light of awareness, into the light of consciousness, higher consciousness. So there's a way that energy is at play. And then this Page of Wands, to me, this energy is just beautiful, because it's like inspiration and new ideas. And also keep this in mind too. This is, thank you for that, Spirit. It's the ways that energy can flow, right? Our momentum. What are our attachments looking like? And again, it's like the attachments that it talks about here too. So I feel like attachments and momentum are the real story here. So there's a way that it's like external attachments can be something that we have to navigate and work to control. Not something that's impossible, but there's a way that we're being called to. The challenge here is to do this internally, right? Because we see the same things. It can seem like there's like a puppeteer energy, but to me, this is more so about aligning yourself internally, and then that will reflect in external circumstances. But if you look to the external circumstances alone, I'm sorry, that was adorable. She's squeezed her paws over her eyes. It's just too bright in here, I guess. But external circumstances, if you're looking to that alone, 12-12 on the time, this will be something that disconnects you. That's why it's a protagonist energy. The challenge is to go within. The challenge is to look at what needs to shift, or perhaps what conflict needs to be navigated internally before it can be brought externally. Then we have the Page of Wands here, which is, it's like new inspiration, fresh ideas, messages coming in. This could be connections to people, but the page energy is also a learning energy. It's also a curiosity. So there's things that can spark your attention and interest, because the energy that you were spending trying to decide directions or what to invest your energy in. I don't see Pentacles necessarily aside from the 6, but I get that. Well, yeah, too. So it's like that investment energy. It's like when that energy is gone, there's like this fresh way the light can emerge. There's like a lightness in you that is shining outward. And I feel like it gives you greater access. This is the Triumph card, right? It gives you greater access to yourself, to your ideas, to perception. There's just this fresh energy. Now the 8 of Swords is here. So there's like some way that you may not want to see this. You may not want to see this, but it might just be an important part based on the placement. An important thing to keep in mind is just reflecting, right? Reflecting on the ways that you may not have wanted to see attachments, the ways that you may not have wanted to see attachments that may have thrown you into an imbalance internally, right? How those attachments worked may be something to really focus on, and not just worked in terms of like how they felt for you, but what was the foundation that supported them, and how can you replace that with something else? Because this isn't about just removal. You have to replace that energy with something else, right? You have to. There has to be an exchange. You have to put something in that place, even if it's only for a short period of time, and then it can fall away. But sometimes it's like. It's just like you have to put a Band-Aid on when you get a cut, right? You have to put a Band-Aid on it until it gets enough of a scab that it's a barrier. So it's like doing that internally and doing that as an act of kindness. But this is really, I feel like you're emerging the Emperor from whatever this situation was in particular, whatever this issue was. It's like it helps you to I want to say come back into balance. I mean, Temperance is balance. 6 of Pentacles is balance. I'm getting from this Emperor energy that there's a way that you're able to talk about what you need and want with greater clarity. because there's nothing in the way of it. Like, this is energy. These attachments get in the way of our ability to declare what we need. To declare not, and it's not needs as in like, I would like this in my life. No, needs are, I need to be heard more. I need to be seen more. I'm thinking of things that might relate to the Emperor and first house energy with Aries, right? Because that's Aries energy. I mean, it's also Leo energy, but there's fire here, period, with the Sagittarius and Aries. But it's like, I need to be able to grow. I need to be able to develop myself. I need to be able to expand horizons. I need to be able to, like, I need to have X, Y, and Z thing, right? For myself. This isn't about like asking other people to be things in terms of having, but this is about looking at the conditions of your life and saying, okay, what is here and what is working and what isn't, and then working backwards from there, right? Working backwards from there to say that we're going to reverse engineer success. So don't underestimate the power of knowing where you are and knowing that it doesn't work, or knowing that it doesn't feel good. We often say, forget that and then, rush to the thing that feels good, but sit with it for a minute and listen to what it has to teach you, because there's so much wisdom in that. So I'm going to pull some clarifying cards here. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for June 30th, please? June 30th. Okay. Thank you so much, Spirit. Whoa, 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Maybe there's, so this, this just came out. It's like, maybe you didn't want to see that you actually wanted the 10 of Pentacles. Maybe it was easier to go, to a lesser investment or to a quicker moving energy, like a knight. Even the Knight of Pentacles is a slow moving energy, but the knights by nature are a journeying energy. They're a transitory energy. There are some that are more preferable. They are transitory for a purpose, like bringing messages and things like that. But it's almost like you maybe didn't want to recognize how much you wanted the 10 of Pentacles or what certain pentacles represented. And we do this sometimes because it's easier just to be me, myself, and I, right? It's so much easier to do that because some of these pentacles require an investment in relationships. They do require that 2 of Cups that I saw at the beginning, right? It requires the investment. And that's what this card talked about as well with the attachments, right? That connection is where the power, the peace, and the purpose lies. Everything else follows after that. Where it's like, and that's what oneness is too, right? Like we are trying to get back to this state of unity and unification, and that can be also a carryover from like the womb, right? Like in that state, we are ejected from a womb into the world, and like a lot of what we do here from that point to passing back, to moving back into the ethers is we're trying really hard to reconnect to our source. We're trying really hard to reconnect. So we get into this place of where we form connections and attachments thinking that it's the real connection, but this is where it's like a recognition of the real deal that you wanted. It's a recognition of what you really wanted. And I think that is beautiful energy for you. It's like this recognition energy, because I feel like the 8 of Swords can indicate mental patterns and things like that, but I almost feel like with the Emperor energy and the way it showed up in the spread, it's really about you releasing those energies. 7 of Wands. Okay. 7 of Wands. What else do we have here, Spirit? That's repeating energy again. So both of these. So we have the 7 of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the Moon. I feel like the conflict that you can't see may be the conflict that you have with yourself. And that might be... Oh, thank you, Spirit. That just like poured right out. It's like the conflict that you can't see is this conflict that you have with yourself, right? With the Sagittarian, so the Temperance card, 6 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Wands here, it's like that inner conflict. There's a conflict that you can't really see. It might be happening energetically, or there might be things with this 8 of Swords that you don't want to see. So it's really about taking some time, pressing pause, and I don't want to say evaluating, because then that sounds like so much work. Sometimes this awareness comes from going for a walk, right? There's a very flat trail around here. So I'll go on that trail sometimes, or I'll go for a walk around a body of water that's near here. And I will, oh, 9 of Cups, nice. And I'll just let my mind not think about things. I'll put some music on that I like, that has a good beat to it, or, just even sometimes putting my headphones in so people don't talk to me, which sounds antisocial, but I feel like people just sometimes approach me because I have that, like, I don't know, but people will approach me and try to talk to me. And sometimes I just want that freedom to kind of go within. But I don't want to go to a trail in the woods to get it. So sometimes I put headphones in, and don't listen to music, but it's just a way for me to maintain good boundaries sometimes. So you can't see my face, but it's going red a little bit, but so doing that kind of thing can also give you access to these things that you might not be able to see. Do something that's outside of your norm, right? Go to a small town near you that's like 20 minutes away, half an hour away, whatever, that you've not heard of, and just wander and play tourist there. Right? Or go to a neighborhood that you've never been to, park the car at a local park and just go for a walk around the neighborhood, right? Get a little lost and explore a little bit. Just stuff like that gets you outside of your norm, to get you thinking in different ways. But it also just helps to, there are certain neural pathways that, and I'm not a doctor with this, but I just know from experience that, and NLP as well being part of this, is that there are certain neural pathways that fire. And then when you constantly do the same things, it's like being somewhere new activates a different part of the brain. Not totally, there's parts of it, but then it's like, it just sparks different biochemical reactions as well. I know for myself with my ADHD, I have to monitor the relationship that I have to dopamine, right? And that sort of novelty feeling. So I like to be challenged and to have new, experiences, and certainly not like there's a way that gets into the everyday, but not relationships and things like that. But it's also not a non-committal energy either. Some people have talked about ADHD in that sense, but for me, this is really what I'm seeing here for you. The reason why it's coming through this way is doing something new outside of the ordinary, even in a basic way, can allow your brain to go into a kind of mode where it's not focusing on the same things that it always is. And that frees up creative energy and capacity. So clarifying Sagittarian energy here. So temperance, justice, and the Page of Wands. We have the Nine of Cups. So I feel like that's a little bit, oh my gosh, I have not listened to Hilary Duff in years, but for some reason that song is coming to mind. This is what dreams are made of. Like, okay, Disney Channel, calm down. Like, what? Anyway, so there's some kind of wish fulfillment that, it comes like from an idea, this like internal. It's like an internal expansion. Sagittarian energy, expansion. 2222 was just on the time, so probably something new, right? There's a lot of new here, in the energy at least. There's not really an Ace of Pentacles, but the Wheel is here, which is new. But it's like this expansion brings about a really powerful shift. But it's also just this. It's almost like it starts with a small idea. And this can just be an epiphany, an aha moment. It can be a synchronicity that's small. But I feel like your creative powers right now are very much, they're very strong, and they're very, yeah, ain't that the truth? Wow, Ace of Swords and the Star. Your creative powers are quite on point right now. And I think that it's giving you this sense of renewed hope, this fresh energy, breath of fresh air energy. Like there's something that's occurring to you, and it could just be an idea that you have and you need to like write it down or something like that. I keep notebooks with me. Just small ones. Like I sleep with one like accessible to me so that I can write down ideas that I get when I'm like waking up in that sort of lucid state, and to write down dreams that are important. But I feel like this is an energy for you of a lot of healing. Ooh, Seven of Swords. That is interesting. Let me clarify that here. Hierophant. Yeah. My first impression of this, whenever the Seven of Swords is present, I just kind of give myself a pause to listen, because I want to make sure that I get the energy, because the traditional representation of the card is more, it's like thievery, right? It's that taking energy. I feel like there's a sense of hope about whatever this idea is. It's connected to, I think, like your voice. Like this is like your self-expression, right? The Ace of Swords, your self-expression. And I feel like maybe in the past you felt like there were specific situations or groups that you were a part of that made you feel like you couldn't, like they kind of took your voice a little bit. Like they took your voice. There was some way that you couldn't express yourself authentically, which is why Sagittarius, Justice, uh, the Ace of Swords, and Aquarius are here. Like these are cards of expression, right? Cards of expression, expansion, air signs, communication, right? So a lot of the things, and taking in information and then putting that out. So I think this is a lot of energy to do with expression on the one hand, but just fearlessly owning what you know to be true for yourself, and the ideas that will come to you are going to support this. Ace of Cups, beautiful. The new energy is starting to show up. I'm very excited about this. So the Six of Pentacles and this bridging energy, it's like this is like balance and mirroring, right? So it's like you can use the energy in whatever way you choose. You can use the energy around you to see it as a reflection and help you bridge this energy into this higher state. And just higher state meaning, emotionally. We have the Ace of Cups here, right? This is to do with emotions and in emotional states. How are you allowing or facilitating your thriving? How are you allowing or facilitating your growth? How are you allowing these things, right? Yeah, and that's the bigger picture that you're taking right now. It's like seeing the big picture, and this ultimately there's like this way that you've been experiencing this balance, or at least the wanting for this balance, and there's a way that you've been seeing the big picture of it, specifically with this Hanged Man here. And I know it's almost like you're understanding that in order for there to be something new, there has to be something that comes into balance. And this is analysis, but this is also, this is a bit of enlightenment that comes from pulling back for a second, and not a total pause, but just taking things slowly. This is also like respecting boundaries too for yourself. Like how are you articulating your own boundaries and your sense of self, your emperor? If you're just taking in everything all the time, right? And there's a certain ecstasy and joy that comes from being in that energy and in that pause, savoring, right? This is like the Hanged Man in this energy. And in this Ace of Cups, and the world is here too, so that it's like savoring things, right? Saturn is here, which can be more of a discipline energy, but I feel like this is coming across to me, at least. This is coming across to me as less discipline and more savoring, right? Like savoring itself is a discipline. Like that is a disciplined pursuit. That is a disciplined thing that we do. What card was this here? Three of Pentacles, yeah. It's like savoring. Oh, sorry about the bang in your ears there, my lovelies. If there was one from the cards. I feel like this Three of Pentacles is, I'm just going to shift here. The Three of Pentacles here is articulating a way that you are, it's almost like you're meeting these different parts of yourself. And it's this foundational energy that I'm seeing. Because the Saturn here, and then we have also Piscean and Neptune energy in the heart space. So it's almost like it's like there's like this meeting taking place in the heart space about something, about a topic that's important to you, or about a direction that's important to you. Because I just saw a compass at the top here instead of the communion. But it's like a compass. So like the heart's compass perhaps, and where that is leading you. So it's almost like these different parts, like you're meeting Pisces and you're meeting Neptune and Saturn. What are you willing to put in the work on, and what is connected to your truth, and what's this sort of what is it that you're dreaming or aiming for, and what's here, and what can you work with, and how can this come together in your favor? And we have the Page of Wands again, right? Page of Wands was right here, so it's like this tiny idea. There's going to be something that occurs to you, just a small epiphany. It could just be thinking thoughts that feel good, right? And that's as simple as that can be. But this is like a learning process. So it's almost like learning. I mean, it could just be the process of meeting these parts of yourself and befriending the parts of you that would maybe, like, if you were taken to illusion, if you were taken to, it's like two sides of things, right? Like this Saturn energy and Neptune is like, Neptune is very, slippery. It's like dreamy. It can be difficult to pin down. Saturn, it's not an opposite, but it is a very sharp difference in energy, where Saturn is discipline. It is the hard work. It is the grueling work at times. It's the not sexy work. It's the work that's just not it's just not good. Like it's good. I think of it as helpful, but like initially people would bristle against it maybe if they're not it's different for everybody, but comparatively, compared to Neptune, right? We're not going to place value judgments on the planet because it's what you do with the energy. But I think there's a way here that perhaps you've been looking at how you want to apply this energy and how you are operating from a place of how much of this is dreaming and illusion and how much of it is the work that I'm putting into it. So it's like meeting this part of yourself that's hardworking, but also meeting the part of yourself that maybe might have let specific things slip by because dreaming felt better, right? So we have the Seven of Wands, we have the Wheel, we also have the Queen of Wands, we have the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Page of Swords. Wow. Oh my gosh. And then the Fool. You're taking a leap. I feel like there's a leap that you're taking, and this could be a chance that you're taking on an idea or yourself. Yeah, stuck energy before that. I almost get that these are helpers that are crossing your path. And they are bringing messages. The page energy here, it's like they're giving you information. So these could be guides as well. These could be relatives or ancestors that are crossing your path, that are helping you to see something with greater clarity. King of Swords, right? And this is all like the ways that you've valued things, and also the ways that you've valued yourself, your creative expression, your ambition as well. But this Page of Swords is almost like you, this again, Page of Wands, this initiate energy, this learner energy, this curious energy, right? So this could be also this could be you finding information online, and people could be speaking to you online. These could be figures in your life or energies that you're finding information about online. Something could be particularly, analytical habits. This can also be, savoring and enjoyment, like habits that you have around that, and what meets you on the path in that energy. 3131 was just on the time. And then we have the Queen of Wands energy, which is this deep passion, right? This very creative, passionate, instinctive care. Like it's a beautiful energy, but where does that show up in your life, right? Like what does that look like? This could look like self-care. This could look like appreciation, things that you're doing in that energy, and information that crosses your path that helps you to move further along the path. And that's, I think, this chance. It's like, again, the threes. Thank you so much, Spirit. Oh, that's beautiful. The three parts of yourself that you're meeting. The Queen of Wands, the King of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. These three parts of yourself that you're meeting. That's beautiful, right? But look at the energies, though. These are very established energies. These are developed energies. These are energies that know what they want. So it's almost like by meeting this Neptune and Saturn part of you, wherever that is in your chart, too, that could be relevant depending on the placements. I know my Saturn is in Sagittarius, and my Neptune is in Capricorn, so they're different, very different energies, right? But I feel like this energy here for you is like meeting these parts of yourself, this fire, this instinct, this gut instinct, creative passion, and like this analysis and this pentacle energy. But again, it's almost like I'm seeing it as like this flow chart mentally where I'm seeing like the topping, like Neptune and Pisces, geez. Neptune, I feel like we've been in Neptune and Pisces, so I think Neptune, and that's what immediately comes up. But it's like we go to this place of Neptune and Saturn, right? And then things that flow from beneath that, well, your placements where those are, and then how you embody those energies. How do you either run towards or away? Are you in balance with Neptune and Saturn? And I don't know why these are so loud in this particular reading, but I feel like it's giving you the information that you need in order to be able to take chances, to take leaps. 3333 was just on the time. But it's like that way of it's like shifting the energy in you because you're meeting these parts of yourself. And I think you're doing it in a way that it's not like you're dishonoring the king and queen nature of these energies, these matured energies within you. I think that you're taking it in because you're doing an assessment in order to take this informed leap, like this calculated risk. But I think it's a good risk. I feel like it's one that you feel good about. The Chariot is telling me this in terms of momentum and forward movement, because we have the Chariot here. So Spirit, can you please clarify this Chariot for me? Yeah, Two of Pentacles, adaptability. This can be like looking at all the information and finding the value in what's in front of you. But it could also be a way that we're balancing too many energies at one time, and it's neglecting. There's like, remember how I said that this is attachments, right? These are attachments that can be holding us back. These are possibly, this kind of clarifies that a little bit. So thank you so much for that, Spirit. This is like seeing attachments that you have in real time. Like there's going to be, it could be two things that happen that will sort of facilitate you seeing this process for yourself and seeing this very clearly. It will be unseeable. Queen of Pentacles. So this is about self-care and nurturing yourself. This is about, High Priestess and some intuition. Yeah, so we had the Queen of Pentacles, and then the High Priestess was on the bottom, and then underneath that was the Nine of Pentacles. So I think this process here of, if you see those things, if there are things that are unforgettable or you can't unsee them, I really get that this energy is about taking care of yourself, connecting to your intuition, and remembering that you have what it takes to take leaps. You have what it takes. It's not just about personal will or strength. I think that it's no mistake here that these are all feminine energies, divine feminine energies, right? These are very nourishing self-care energies. These are very deeply involved energies. These are not disconnected energies at all. Very connected to the richness of self, family. This could have to do with home life too. And then we have this intuitively connected energy, and also a, rich connection to your intuition, rich connection to yourself and your sense of self and your self-care. All of these energies are about that connection, right? And it's like, the beautiful part here is that it's this connection to self, which makes that Emperor make so much sense here, because I feel like that's how and there's more divine feminine energy. Wow, the Queen of Swords too. A lot of clarity, and then right under that was the Ten of Cups. I'm going to put this deck down. This is telling me so much about what's unlocking happiness. This is the connection that you're seeking. But I feel like first there's like parts of yourself that you're meeting. And it's not necessarily for the first time. I don't get that. I think that this is just the Ace of Cups here is telling me about this way that it's connected to your heart center. And this is like stuff that's happening in the background. So look out to triggers, look out to things like that might, that bring about discomfort within you. Because there's going to be some real clarity that you get about what matters the most. We have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups here. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Cups. There, and the Wheel, like fortune is in your corner. Like there are things happening with the turn of the wheel that are certainly to your benefit. And that's very clear to me here. So we're going to pull from the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. Thank you so much, Spirit. Can I please get some messages for my daily creatives for June 30th, please? Thank you so much. Things are about to get really juicy. Yes. I have such a huge smile on my face for you. Oh my goodness. I really feel like they are. They really are. This is like, this is, I don't even know. It could be Jupiter return or something, but there's like some kind of luck that's on your side. Some kind of luck. Okay, so this is a few messages, but you'll find what you seek. So look for the good, and you will find the good. Look at this, 2 hearts in the cosmos energy, very mirroring each other. So this could be to do with relationships and romantic connections. But this, if you're not looking for that, I think this is just, when things are, so I'll show you these first, but they chose you. So this is about people choosing this lifetime to come here because of you. Because what if that was true? Just think about that for a second. If people came here in this lifetime just so they could be alongside you in the energy. Wow. You all of you, like when I've said in other videos that I wake up some mornings and it feels like my hair needs like a heavy machinery license to operate, right? Like that the you that has good days and bad days, or that wakes up and is like, like the you that like all of you, they came to know all of that part of you, the whole person that you are, right? And then love in spite of it all. So love because of it all. I say this all the time. Love because of it all. And that's really about this total acceptance of self that almost like unlocks this like acceptance of others too. But I feel like it's like the way I look at that kind of energy is it's like on cloudy nights where the clouds hang low in the sky. And if there was like a grand opening for something, there would be a light shooting up. And because the clouds were low, it would bounce up and it would be so apparent that something amazing was happening there. And that's what your energy does when you're in that accepting place, when you're in that appreciation place, when you're in that love place, when you're in that self appreciation place. So that is beautiful. I make time to recharge my battery. The world needs my energetic light. Yes, those pillars of light going up, right? Like that's your energy right now. The world needs your light. And not because it's a task for you to do, because it's the way you shine when you're in your element and just radiating outwards, my darlings. I love this energy. So good. So good. Whenever I compare myself to others, I simply say this prayer. The light I see in them is a reflection of my inner light. A lot of reflection energy here too with this mirroring, right? The reflections that you see around you are a reflection of your inner light. Remember that. It is part of, I'm getting that it's part of this unlocking, but again, the pillars of light, right? A lot of light in this energy reading. A lot of light in this energy period. But so this is your reading for June 30th, my darling daily creatives. I hope that this resonated. If it did, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe. Stick around for other energy and content on the channel. She has got to be so dramatic. Yes, she's jumping down. Okay. I was like, really? We're right at the end. But nonetheless, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, that it finds you very, very well, my darlings. Have a wonderful day.